Awesome. All right. Welcome everybody to our fourth and final day of our transfer chats. It's been an amazing week being able to just chat it up with all of our local community colleges and engage with our local community college transfer students. Today we will be talking about support networks in our final day, and we are very excited. And I am joined today by our amazing colleague Christina Ortega from Cabrillo. Um, and we are very excited to be able to present to you other transfer advocates from different CSUs and UCs. We are going to, before we start off, we're going to go ahead and see and get a visual of what support networks looks for you all. So Christina went ahead and dropped the Padlet into the chat. And if you all can see my screen, you'll be able to see the Padlet. And we just wanted to start getting an idea of what type of support are you looking for at the Ford University? What does belonging look like to you? And then on a scale of 1 through 10, how important is having community to you? Feel free to just go ahead and click on the plus sign and add whatever you are feeling about these questions. It'll give us an idea um, of how we can support you as a transfer student, and it will give our speakers today additional ideas of how they can support you when if you decide to go to their school. So go ahead and start filling that out, and we'll be able to see. It is a live document, so we will be able to see as you go ahead and fill it out. And I want to encourage all of our speakers too. You can also go ahead and jump in and fill out some of those questions if they apply to you, or if you want to utilize your voice to speak for some of the transfer students that you've been able to assist along your way. So how important is having, okay, on a scale from 10. So far we have a 10. Community is extremely important. And some of the support we're looking for is navigating the institution as a first generation student. And just to make sure everybody's alive and just to gauge the audience, can we get a thumbs up if we have anybody else that identifies as a first generation student? I know I do. Feel free to use your reactions as well. Perfect. We are in a Zoom world, so let's continue to hype everybody up using our Zoom tools. So from what I'm seeing, a lot of people are in agreement that it is very important to have community. Some of the support that our students are additionally looking for is how to find and use school resources. Yes, all of the amazing guest speakers we have today are going to be able to talk to you about that. Let's see, what type of support are you looking for? Major advisors that care about us and our experience. Perfect. Time management help. Yes, that is a huge one. And that's pretty common. Anything else? What does belonging look like to you? Thank you. So finding others with the same interests and values. The bright side of coming in as a transfer student is that you're coming in with a dedicated major. And so you are going to have a community around you that are all working towards that same goal. What does belonging look like to you? Being successful academically. Awesome. Well, thank you all. And then we're also looking for some financial support. So thank you all for participating in that. I hope that it gives the speakers and our guests some a visual of what our students are looking for today, so that you can make sure that you're speaking on these points. And yeah, and we just want to remind you and say thank you for attending today. It is our last and final kickoff for our transfer chats. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Christina.
Thank you so much, Victor. So a warm welcome to all of the students that have been here with us all week, and to our partners, CSUMB, UCSC, and San Jose State. We are so thankful that you are all here, and also MPC and Hartnell Transfer Centers, that this could not happen without all of their support. So why is belonging important? So for those of you who are with us on Tuesday evening, for our presentation, each panelist really expressed the importance of creating a support network. This can be anyone in your life, you know, family, friends, uncles, aunts, you know, a neighbor, your instructors, your academic counselors, or even, you know, your mental health counselors and any support staff. When we feel like we have support, we feel less alone, and especially during difficult times, they can really help us navigate through life. When you have someone to help you navigate and encourage you and help you find connection, it helps you navigate your career and academic goals. In a recent study by the RP group, Through the Gate, students expressed that when they felt that they had support from their friends, family, instructors, and counselors who took a caring interest in their success, they felt more motivated to persist in their academic and career goals. So with that said, we are going to hear about all the support networks that are already in place for you at the university. I know today we are spotlighting San Jose State, UCSC, and CSUMB, but a lot of universities have a similar support service, but these are very unique to these campuses. So hopefully this can help you about, start thinking about that warm handoff. What is my support network going to look like once I get to the university as a junior transfer? So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. And I am going to pass it over to CSUMB. And CSUMB, go ahead and let me know when you need me to move to the next slide.
Sounds good. Thank you, Christina. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here with everybody. My name is Jacinto Salazar. I'm the coordinator at the Transfer Student Success Center at Cal State Monterey Bay. I am joined here today with the transfer peer mentors who really make the Transfer Student Success Center go round. So before we actually get into the information that we'd like to provide you, I want to make sure that I give them an opportunity to introduce themselves. But before I do that, I also want to mention that not only do I do this as a profession and a job, but I was a transfer student as well. I transferred from Hartnell Community College. And so for me, this isn't just work and it's not just students that I serve, but I really bring my own experience to this work. And so that's something that I always want to make sure that I mention, because not only is this something that is important to the campus, but it's also important to me personally. So that's something that I think that is really important to note. So with that, I want to go ahead and let the peer mentors introduce themselves as we begin.
Hi, everyone. I'm Addie. I'm a peer mentor at the Transfer Student Success Center, and I am an HCOM major with an emphasis in communication studies. And I transferred from Modesto Junior College in fall of 2020, and I will be graduating this spring. It's nice to meet everyone.
Hi, everyone. My name is Miranda Sampson. I transferred to CSUMB from Cabrillo College in the fall of 2022. I am a business administrations major with a concentration in agribusiness, and I will be graduating in the spring of 2022, sorry.
Awesome. My name is Stephanie. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am a liberal studies major with a minor in human development, so I want to be a teacher in the near future. I am from Stockton, California, so I went to San Joaquin Delta College, and I will be graduating this semester. So yeah, pass back to Jacinto.
Thanks. And there's a few other peer mentors that work with us that can be here because they have conflicts, but you'll get to see them on the presentation in just a little bit. Next slide, please, Christina. So we want to cover some of the programs and services that we provide at the Transfer Student Success Center, and then talk a little bit about what kind of our philosophy and what our kind of motivating, grounding ideas are. And so we'll be talking about our peer mentor program, the study session hours or drop-in hours, depending on the time of the semester, the physical space that we have, because although we do have a physical space, all of our services are virtual this semester, and our plans are to go back in person and provide in real life support in our space for spring 22. We'll talk about the different events that we facilitate and sponsor, and then we'll make sure that we connect you with our contact information and our social media. And so really the most important thing for you to remember about today is that the Transfer Student Success Center is the home base for all transfer students. And we want to make sure that transfer students are supported during their transition to CSUMB, that they connect with students, and that they build that transfer community and they connect to the resources that not only the TSSC provides, but the campus provides more broadly. We want transfer students to develop a sense of belonging. And really that means, do you feel like this is a place that you can come to and feel comfortable and be successful? But even more than that, is this a place that you can come to and be your authentic self and make a contribution to? And so really we want to continue contributing to the development of a vibrant transfer community that the whole campus can see and be a part of and be proud of. And again, we're always grounded in social justice values and principles in all the work that we do, whether it's the peer mentor program or the events that we have, or all the things in the ways that we interact with students. Next slide, please.
So one of our main things that we offer through the Transfer Student Success Center is the peer mentor program. And it is set up to help develop a peer-to-peer relationship. So some things that we do with our peer mentors is help them identify challenges that they might face as a transfer student in their schoolwork, or set goals either academically or personally, navigate CSUMB systems, just because coming over as a transfer student, knowing one schools might be hard, and then learning a whole new school is a challenge. So we make sure that they feel comfortable, and we help them make connections, whether it's through events or suggesting that they go to office hours or attend a club meeting. We also have parenting student support, as we have a parenting student peer mentor. So that's really awesome. And we also help them develop strategies for academic success. And we like to check in with our mentees like 3 times out of the semester. So usually like one in the beginning, one in the middle, and then one towards the end. So we can check in on them and see how their academic goals are going, and make sure that they're on the right track, and always direct them to the right resources, and just make sure that they're doing okay, and that they're feeling welcome, and that they're getting their sense of belonging. Next slide, please. So here are the peer mentors that we have this semester. There is me in the top right corner, and then Aaliyah is in the bottom left corner, and Denise is in the bottom right corner. Miranda's in the top left corner. Selene is in the middle on the bottom, and then Stephanie is on the top in the middle section. And we all have different we all have different majors, which I feel like is a really good strong suit for us as peer mentors, because that can bring in a lot more diversity as far as mentees goes, and as far as what we know and about what we know about all of the programs here at CSUMB. Next slide.
Okay, so one of the services that the Transfer Student Success Center offers is we do drop-in office hours. This semester, they're every Monday and Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. A lot of the time we get students who are looking for help with resources, finding like counseling, or looking for tutors for a specific class. Our registration for the spring opened this week. So last week we were doing a lot of help with people needing help adding their classes and that sort of thing. So it's really just a space for people to drop in and ask questions. And when there's other students in the room, it makes a sense of connection, because they can see other fellow transfer students who maybe they've never met before, especially because a lot of our services are still virtual. So in these office hours, students can also, they get connected with the peer mentors because we run them. Usually 2 or 3 of us are in the room at one time. And like I said, we just help support with navigating CSUMB systems and figuring out who we can direct you to. Usually a lot of what we do is telling people where to go. We're not academic advisors. We can't tell you what classes to take, but we can tell you who to go to get that sort of information. Next slide, please. And then we also do have a physical space. We're not in there right now, but it is on campus, Forest Hall, Building 49 East. We have a multi-purpose room where mentors and mentees can meet for meetings, or have a study space, meet with other classmates or fellow transfer students. Or if you need to meet with a tutor, you can use those rooms for that. We do have day use lockers. We have a printer, electronic signage to make it fun. And we also have a refrigerator. so that people can store some food in there, maybe a few snacks, and just it's really a space for everyone to feel comfortable, welcome, engaged, and just connect with fellow transfer students and your mentors on campus. Next slide, please.
Alrighty, so some of the events that we have, different events, multiple events. So we either have social events or academic workshops. Those are two of our biggest ones. Right now, we are currently working on our podcast. It's Transfer Tea with TSSC. New season coming up, y'all. We're starting new mentors and stuff like that. So we are going to have sharing our transfer stories and stuff like that. I know mine's up since I'm a returning mentor. So it's just to get a little experience of like, okay, this is their transfer story. This is what they went through. And you can either relate, you can say, get new insight and stuff like that. And then we're also getting a newsletter that's coming up with just all of the newer things that happen within CSUMB. If you are a peer mentee, you get weekly newsletters from your peer mentor. That just gives you updates about campus events, stuff like that, how to book an appointment with us. And yeah, and then we also have the academic workshops, time management, which is coming up. And then we also have some like reading strategies that we partner with the CLC, which is our tutoring people on campus. And then National Transfer Student Week is something we just finished. We had events every single day. We either partnered up with one of our National Honor Societies, Tau Sigma National Honor Society, which is a club on campus. We partnered up with different people within CSUMB. So that was a great weekend. It was awesome. Next slide, please. And so keep in contact with us and just start getting plugged in now. That's my biggest advice. If you have questions, you are more than welcome to email us. We have a Facebook group at Transfer Student Success Center at CSUMB. If you have questions, you can always just hop on Facebook and say, hey, what's here, what's there, and we'll go ahead and answer that for you. CSUMB_transfer centers our Instagram, and you'll see everything for the most part, all of our events and stuff like that. We have a YouTube, that's very helpful. Definitely check those out. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers, so subscribe. And then we have our one of our new website that Jacinto has dropped in the chat. This literally has everything. So if you want to look at our Facebook, our Instagram, that's all in there. So you don't have to keep clicking on multiple things, but yeah, definitely check that out. Next slide.
And then just the most important thing to know is that CSUMB, we live transfer students, right? And we're going to do the most to support all of the transfer students that come our way. Make sure that you understand that even before you step foot on our campus, that we're here to support you, so that when you come to events like this, that you connect to friendly faces and all the resources that you're going to need to hit the ground running and find success at CSUMB. So we love to hear from you. Connect with our social media, send us an email, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the future. So thanks a lot.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I might be biased, but I absolutely love the TSSC at CSUMB. And if we can just get a virtual round of applause for them coming out and sharing their time with us and sharing space with us. They're amazing advocates. So thank you so much for being here today. We are going to go ahead and move forward. And next up, it's your time to shine. UC Santa Cruz, and it's their STARS program.
Thank you all so much for having us here and, sharing the space with us. Thank you all. This is awesome. Can you go on to the next slide, please? Thank you. So before we begin, we just want to go through, a short round of introductions. But of course, first and foremost, I just want to congratulate all of y'all in, thinking about transferring to a CSU, a UC. This is huge. So really just want to, congratulate all of y'all for thinking about this. To start off, hi y'all, good afternoon, evening. My name's Janet Zeha. My pronouns are she and hers. I am one of the program coordinators for STARS, Services for Transfer and Reentry Students at UCSC. I also was a transfer student from Hartnell College, first in my family to go to college, first in my family to graduate. And if it wasn't for support networks like STARS, I would have dropped out of college and never have graduated. Now I work here. So it's a beautiful thing. And I would love to have the awesome transition mentors introduce themselves next, and also let us know where you transferred from. Michelle, do you want to start it off?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Good evening. My name is Michelle Moreno, pronouns she, her, hers. And I work as a STARS transition mentor. I'm here in one of our little study rooms. And I transferred from Chabot College in Hayward, California. So like East Bay area. And I'll pass it to Daniel.
Thanks, Michelle. Hi, everyone. My name is Daniel Marinero. I use he, him, they, them pronouns. I'm also another transition mentor with STARS. My area of study is ethnic studies, and I transferred from Los Angeles Harbor College, so down here in the South Bay in the city of Wilmington, and I will pass it on to Hassan.
Thanks, Daniel. Yeah, my name's Hassan Patan, pronouns he, his, him, and I'm also another transition mentor with STARS. I transferred from Evergreen Community College over in San Jose last year, and currently my area of study is applied math. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you all. If any of y'all want to go ahead and check in the chat, we highly encourage you all to do so. So yeah, next slide, please. Thank you. And I will pass it on over to Daniel.
Thank you, Janet. So this is our slide of who we are, our values and purpose. Our purpose is STARS is here to provide culturally responsive support to transfer, re-entry veteran students, as well as students who do not have traditional family support due to a variety of different life experiences. We also value self-care, healing, and transformation for our students and ourselves. We aim to provide a community space in which folks can feel like they can be their own authentic and genuine self. And we also have a little click here to read more about some of the STARS team members as well. Thank you.
That's me. Thanks, Daniel. So I'm going to talk a little bit about all the services we offer. There is a couple, actually. So for people who identify as transfer students, we have Kresge 25, which is a course that you can take as your first year or your first quarter here on campus. You're with other transfer students and you're learning about how to kind of like acclimate, study help, and just kind of some general prep for the year. We have the transition mentorship program, which is what Hassan, Daniel, and I do, and our other two coworkers, just supporting students where needed, however much they would like us to support them, holding meetings, sending resources, holding events, etc. So more of like a holistic and general support. We have fall and winter welcome programs. We just had our welcome week, welcome event October 13th. We had a couple workshops for the mentees, scholarship programs, basic needs support. So like today we had a pop-up little veggie food pantry from our local garden, and students came and got their veggies, which were huge. Actually, that was crazy. And we have a lot of like basic needs that we offer in the STARS Lounge. Summer transition workshops you can also do kind of similar to like Kresge 25, just before you enter UC Santa Cruz. Supportive relationships, so community spaces and events in the STARS, and all the other programs that we offer hold events too. Holistic counseling, peer mentoring, which is what we do and other of the mentors do as well. General advising. One second. Sorry, my coworker was leaving. Yeah, so student leadership, jobs and internships, including the QUIP program, which I'm also an intern part of. They offer internships part of the school, and you can work with the various things. Like I work in a garden with 3rd and 4th graders. So really cool type of internships. Volunteering, also if you need help being referred to a club on campus, and advocacy, so partnering with students, removing those institutional barriers. I think STARS is super, super dedicated to supporting the student holistically and overall, and removing those barriers. Yes, thank you, Janet. Removing those barriers and supporting them however they need, and in community, and so that everybody doesn't have to do it alone, especially as transfer students. I think oftentimes we're coming from having to do things on our own or navigating independent spaces, but it doesn't always have to be like that. So having a space like STARS is super, super helpful.
Next slide doesn't seem to be popping up all the way, interestingly enough. I don't know if it's not popping up for y'all either, but it's basically just a spider web, if you will, of all the different programs that we had. Oh, cool. So this is like a really long video that y'all are free to watch later. But if you want to just leave it right there, Hassan, would you mind going over some of the different programs we have listed there?
Yeah, thank you, Janet. So usually this section on a good day can take up to like 30 minutes to cover all the different programs that we have. But as you can tell, it's an abundance of them that are housed in STARS. And so we'll drop a link in the chat of the overview video that goes through all of the programs and communities we serve. Like we have the resources for parenting students, Renaissance scholars, reentry scholarships, and the underground scholars who support previously incarcerated students.
Well, thank you, Hassan. Like Hassan said, we have so many different programs. Honestly, this presentation would take 30 minutes if we went into each and every one of them. So we put a link to the program overview in the chat for any of y'all that maybe are veterans, are underground scholars, and are interested in learning more. So yeah, this slide is cool. I'll go into the Peaster Scholarship Overview. So this is a scholarship, pretty prestigious scholarship for any students in the regional 13 community colleges in the area that are trying to transfer to UCSC. So the Peaster Scholarship, it's $20,000 for your 2 years here at UCSC, $10,000 your first year, $10,000 your second year. This program is coordinated by my wonderful colleague, Viviana Alvarez. Viviana serves as the dedicated Peaster advisor for these students. And this scholarship really is meant to recognize students who have overcome adverse socioeconomic circumstances, who have a demonstrated commitment to leadership, assisting in improving the lives of others, and who might not be able to attend UCSC for financial reasons because school's expensive, right? So candidates are usually nominated by presidents of the local community colleges. Then they get screened by community college staff members as well as UCSC members, and then 13 students are selected on that $20,000 award. Applications are usually due in early February. And for information on how to apply for any of y'all that are interested, please go ahead and contact the financial aid office at your community college, and they will go ahead and give you the needed information. I applied to be a Peaster Scholar, didn't get in, it's okay. But I kind of know what the process is like. So yeah, check in with your community college financial aid office to get details on the application and all that good stuff. But if any of y'all are interested, please go ahead and apply. Next slide, please. So we just wanted to go ahead and point out some more additional support networks that can be found at UC Santa Cruz for any of y'all that, you know, are looking for other resources besides STARS. So of course, our Educational Opportunity Program, EOPS at the community college. most all students that are EOP, once they transfer, will have the EOP designation here. If for whatever reason you transfer, you're not classified as EOP, you could do an appeal with the EOP office here. And they have undocumented student services, they have pre-graduation programs, they have a textbook lending library, and they have this amazing program that gets undergrads situated with grad school, what that looks like, the application process, starting your own research, and they'll pay you for it. We also have a couple of different resource centers that are identity-based. So the ARC, African American Resource and Cultural Center, the AIRC, American Indian Resource Center, the APERC, Asian American Pacific Islander Resource Center, the Chicanx Latinx Resource Center, the Cantu Queer Center, and the Women's Center as well. We also have a DRC office. So if any of y'all that are DSPS affiliates, we have a space here that can go ahead and give you in-class accommodations, coursework, exam, transportation accommodations. And we also have a pretty awesome learning support service tutoring center. And if you do transfer here, we're always looking for transfer tutors, and they pay pretty well. And then of course, just wanted to point you all in more directions about some of our different housing options for transfer students. We have a lot of commuting students, particularly from the local CCs, but we do have family student housing. So this is for anyone who is married, has dependents, is living with their parents, their siblings, cousin. Family student housing is phenomenal. We have the Redwood Grove for students that are 23 and older, and we have the community rentals office to help people look for off-campus housing situations. Next slide, please. Yeah, so that's a little bit about STARS International. Here's some of our contact information.
Something's going on here.
Here's some of our, sorry, Fatima. Here's some of our contact info. So if y'all want to get in touch with myself, Michelle, Hassan, Danielle, there are our personal emails. There's also the general starspeer@ucsc.edu email. And also just, I saw a question in the chat from Alejandra, the scholarships that STARS offers, some scholarships for reentry students, anyone who's 25 or older, a parent, or a veteran. And if you were 25 or older or a parent, you would be eligible for our scholarships. Doesn't matter what your citizenship status is. But yeah, that's it for us. Thank you all so much. And you'll have a chance to talk to the amazing transition mentors in our breakout sessions. Thanks, y'all.
Awesome. Yes, thank you to your amazing team. Can we again get a wonderful virtual round of applause for the SJ or the UCSC folks? And then I was already thinking ahead, excited for the next person. And so next we have Drew Agby from SJSU.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, everyone. So let me go ahead and share my slides real quick. All right, there you go. So yeah, wanted to first thank everyone for inviting me tonight. I think this is an awesome premise of a program. And obviously I'll be representing San Jose State University this evening for you also. Just, quick introductions. Drew Agbe, Associate Director, Student Outreach Recruitment, Office of Admissions and Outreach. And I really think this is a very valuable topic that we're talking about. First off, with the transfer population, just to give you some of my background, I'm not a transfer student, but I am an alum of San Jose State from back in the day. But I've been working here for about 15 years, and one of my key roles when I first got here was to be an academic advisor. And I work with countless transfer students from literally not just the Bay, not just California, but really out of state and even international students. And so I definitely am very well aware of, the different dynamic that transfer students, go through and experience, because it's a grind, right? It's a grind to go to community college or even other four-year universities and then transfer to an institution like San Jose State or CSU. There are a lot of challenges. There's a lot of wins, but it definitely is a journey, right? And I think it's very valuable to talk about the things that we're talking about in regards to, the transfer experience, but also when you transition, right? How can you be successful, but also how can you find that community and that great college experience that all of us literally want to experience, right? Or want to go through when they come to an institution like San Jose State or any institution. And so just kind of wanted to start with that. Now, tonight, Christina did ask me to kind of go over just all overall resources, right? Because we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of resources at an institution like San Jose State. We have a little over 30,000 students. And so we are a large campus, but at the same time, we have so many resources that are here for everyone, right? So freshmen, for transfers, we actually don't have a transfer center, right? And I think a big reason why we don't is because with all of our resources that here's a short list of ones that I have here. We have specific staff members at many of these resources dedicated to transfer students. We have different programming dedicated to transfer students, but really a lot of these centers invite everyone, right? Because again, San Jose State, we're known for our diversity, we're known for our inclusion, and we want everyone to experience everything that we have at SJSU. Just a list of some of our support services listed here. I did highlight some of the ones that are more relevant to maybe this conversation, but in general, these are just our countless resources. First thing I wanted to kind of address, and again, this was one of the topics I was asked to kind of cover, is just academic advising, right? For transfer students, you all want to know, hey, what courses transferred over from my community college to SJSU? After I learn what is transferable and what you all accept, right? What courses do I need to graduate, right? And the goal is obviously to graduate in 2 years flat. Again, if some of us are working or have kids and things of that nature, you might go a little slower, and that's okay, right? But if the goal is to graduate in 2 years, many transfer students come in, they're like, hey, put me on that track. And so the first two highlighted resources I have for you all is our academic advising and retention services, and then what we call college student success centers. Now, our academic advising retention services, ARS, help students, if they, let's say, come into San Jose State and they're not maybe too sure what major they want to do. Now, as transfers, you have to declare a major. But let's say you're like, you know what, yeah, I declared social science, but I'm kind of flirting around with social work, or I'm flirting around with business marketing, right? ARS is a great staff for you all to talk and speak generally about the different majors that exist. Because again, we got over 135 majors, right? And that can be very overwhelming in regards to finding out what's my fit, right? And so our ARS program, they help with, like, let's say certain holds that you might have on your account, different academic plans, but really they are there to help with students who are still kind of discovering what the program or major is that's a right fit, right? Now, the second bullet point in the college student success centers, this is really your go-to, right? So if you're a transfer student, you come in, right? You want to know what your 2-year plan is. It's what we call a roadmap to your degree. Every single major at San Jose State belongs to a college. So I know it can be kind of confusing because it's like, well, college student success center, you mean the San Jose State Student Success Center? No, so we have about 9 colleges within San Jose State. So it could be from the humanities and arts to the College of Engineering, to the College of Business, et cetera, et cetera. So every major belongs to a college, and every college has a success center. So this is literally where you would go after enrolling at San Jose State, going through orientation, right? And finding out who your advisor is specific for you. And so these college student success centers are pretty much, again, your go-to as far as finding out who your advisor is and finding out what the plan is each semester for 2 years, right, to graduate and get your degree. And so historically, before maybe about, 6-7 years ago, we didn't have these student success centers. And so we only had 2 colleges that did. And now all of the colleges, including an international extended studies college, so for international students, have these success centers where you would go to, right, to again, find all the information you need to graduate within 2 years and get your degree, okay? And so I wanted to really stress those. Now, to the right, I did highlight a couple of ones that maybe some of my other colleagues had mentioned as far as what we have. The first thing, though, I wanted to stress was that our new student family programs is pretty much our orientation team. And it really starts there, right? It really starts there in regards to you finding out specifically as a transfer student, right, what the steps are to enroll, to finish, your degree, yes, but also what resources are on campus. It also is a way for you to network with fellow transfers from, again, not only just the Bay, all around the state, but even, out of state and globally. So you really will network with fellow transfers from all over. Network, the last couple of years has been virtual, and that's been kind of unique, right? But everything's been unique lately, right? But again, they find ways to do programming for fellow transfers, for you to network, meet others. And then again, we are moving to in-person orientation, actually starting this spring and moving forward. So there will be opportunities again for you to meet fellow transfer students. And again, we have an orientation specific for freshmen, and then obviously orientation specific for transfer students. Other resources listed here, peer connections, where you can link up with peer mentors. We have a lot of identity-based centers and resources as well, from our LGBTQ Pride Center. We have a Chicanx, Latinx Student Success Center, aka El Centro. We have a Black Leadership and Opportunity Center called The Block. We have a Mosaic Cross-Cultural Center. We have centers for veterans. We have centers for athletes. Obviously, we have Educational Opportunity Program, aka EOP, right, where they have a large amount of transfer students as well. First generation college students. I'm a first gen student myself, and I participate in EOP. We have gender equity centers. Again, multiple centers for you to find your networks, for you to gain community, but also the academic support. Or again, all very, very accessible, and things that you can learn at orientation and through our pre-admissions center, which again, I'm the manager of. So I manage the pre-admissions recruitment team. And so we host a lot of events specific for transfers, which I'll promote shortly. As far as student life and organizations, I'll go ahead and play a quick video, or a video that kind of breaks down our student organizations, because again, it's better to hear from students versus me, but we again have over 300 organizations. This definitely leads to you finding your community and you getting that experience that I think we're all looking for. So I'll go ahead and play this video, but let me go ahead and optimize the video just to make sure that it looks good for you all. All right, here we go.
Whether you're interested in exploring career options, meeting other students interested in your favorite hobby, or just looking to connect with other students, there's a place for you here at SJSU. We have 450 student clubs, which are broken down into 5 categories: cultural or religious, academic, club sports, Greek organizations, and special interest. If a club does not exist, students can also start one themselves. Students can find clubs that interest them through the SJSU SAMI app. There's no previous experience required for the students to get involved in most of the clubs. Student involvement staff helps clubs to be successful and helps students gain valuable skills through advising sessions, training, club resources, developmental workshops, and networking opportunities.
Associated Students is 13 elected board of directors. These students are elected in the spring and serve a 1-year term, where they advocate on behalf of the 36,000 students here at SJSU. Students have the opportunity to grow their skills through professional development and leadership training. AS has the General Service Center where you can apply for affordable textbooks funding, pick up your paychecks, and pay PG&E or get your bills notarized. We're also home of the Transportation Solution, which is where you can get your Clipper card and you can learn different ways of commuting around San Jose and the Bay Area. The Child Development Center provides childcare to our baby Spartans and provides job opportunities for students who are teachers in the classroom. The Print and Technology Center is where you can get your phone screen repaired for free and print out your homework. AS hires over 150 student employees in their various departments. This includes student assistants, graphic designers, event assistant, garden staff, and more. Check out Handshake to find opportunities to work for AS. An integral part of life as a Spartan is being a member of the Spartan Squad, the official student body spirit group at San Jose State. We as student athletes thrive off your support and home field advantage. Tickets to all SJSU sport events are free for all students and even include a free guest as well. Free transportation is provided to games on South Campus via the Park and Ride shuttle. Follow us on social media for all the updates and game times. Spartan up!
Navigating all this campus has to offer can seem overwhelming, but here at SJSU we have some incredible campus resources that truly allow students to get what we need to be successful. The Student Wellness Center is located in the center of campus and offers one-on-one counseling and medical services. These services are low cost or free for Spartans. SJSU Cares supports students with food and housing assistance and other needs, for example, through the on-campus food pantry.
We're students first, and our academics should always be a top priority. As part of the California State University Graduate 2025 initiative, SJSU supports students in graduating on time and feeling empowered in the classroom. Every Spartan has access to peer mentoring, academic accommodations, and academic advising and support.
Last but not the least, preparing for our future career is something we take seriously here. Our Career Center hosts job and internship fairs, provides career coaching and resume support, and even hosts a career closet for students who need professional attire for interviews but are a bit tight on funds.
So what's it like being a Spartan? It's empowering, transformative, community, home. If you have questions about getting involved on campus services and resources, please get in touch and follow us on social media for current updates. More detailed information about Associated Student, Athletic, and Student Involvement, including contact information, can be found on the SJSU website. Spartan up!
All right, so hopefully that painted you all a picture of ways to get involved, find your community, find your network, and again, live that SJSU college experience. So with respects to time, because I know my time is a little bit over, again, I was asked to talk a little bit about housing. Should you want that option, again, as transfers, you're not required to live in our housing, but we have about 5 to 6 different facilities on our dorm facilities. This is kind of an image of our newer campus village. And again, transfers, a lot of transfers I work with, they find apartments close to campus where sometimes, honestly, it can be more cost effective if you have roommates and et cetera, et cetera. But again, some of you may want to commute. And that's, I think, the beauty of being a transfer to San Jose State. This is some information about where you can get that, again, additional resources and information about our housing. This is our steps admissions brochure if you ever want to take a look at all of our majors and concentrations. And the typical steps to apply and get admitted. I can drop that in the chat after this presentation as well. And then if you all want to attend an event and you want to hear from fellow Spartans on a live virtual event, we have something coming up on November 6th called Spartan Saturdays. Again, yeah, there's going to be admissions presentation, but there will be a student panel, and we will have a transfer session specific to you all where you can hear from fellow Spartans, and a few of them being transfers from the past. So there's a couple opportunities there. And then just ways for you to stay in contact with me. We also have our own podcast called The Spartan Scoop, where you can hear about all the resources that we have, life as a Spartan, and then also the experience of transitioning to living in San Jose. And so these are just some ways for you to stay connected with us. And I'm always happy to talk to you all when and if you are looking to transfer to San Jose State. All right. And that is pretty much my presentation. Thank you, folks.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Drew. If we can give Drew a virtual round of applause. Thank you so much. That was some amazing information. And it's just been awesome to be able to share space with everybody today. And just special thanks to CSUMB, UCSC, and SJSU, all 3 amazing transfer institutions. At this time, I'm sure we might have students that have more specific questions. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and I believe the breakout rooms were opened. So you should be able to go ahead and join a breakout room of your choice. When you join, you'll be able to discuss more detailed questions if you had any, or you can just pick the brains of some of these transfer students that are here today as well. I'm sure they have amazing experiences that they'd love to share.